Good morning. When Pastor Erica first asked if I would be willing to share my story and talk about commitment from the pulpit, I was hesitant. I thought, what do I have to say or share? But I'm grateful she asked and glad that I chose to say yes, because it's been so good thinking about my commitment to Baptist Church of the Covenant and my commitments in this place and how they help me feel rooted and connected here. I've been a member since 2004, but haven't always felt as connected as I do now. I gave financially to the church and would sing in the choir when I was here, but hesitated to really join in. I visited a few Sunday school classes. I knew people here, especially in the choir. I felt very warmly welcomed when I did show up at church. But I was putting in a very minimal part of myself. And there were reasons, or at least justifications, that I gave myself. I said, I can't commit to doing more because I've got too much to handle in the rest of my life, too much to deal with. How can I show up by 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning every week when I am so tired? What I didn't understand were the ways that committing, I'm a crier, I apologize. The ways that committing and showing up, sacrificing that bit of sleep on a Sunday morning, letting go of the sense that I had such a scarcity of time that I couldn't do more than occasionally show up from 9 to 10 and then dash back home, would actually feed my soul and make the time I had feel so much more expansive and abundant. Although I wasn't pouring very much of myself into this community, I did always love it and value what Baptist Church of the Covenant stood for. At one point, the church was cleaning up its membership rolls. I don't know if this has happened to anybody else, but I got a letter asking if I still wanted to be a member. I called my deacon in shock and said, yes, please. I didn't want to be let go. I wanted to be connected here. But I had to ask myself, well, okay, so what does that mean? I had already been giving. This is why I was like, why am I getting a letter? I've got my bank sending money. But I knew that I actually needed to do more than that. So I made myself the promise that I would come back and not miss church unless I had to be out of town. I started coming to choir practice on Wednesday evenings at 7. I joined the Seeker Sunday School class, which even then was led by Morgan Ponder, but was also where Joyce Mitchell was one of the co-leaders, and Saint Sarah Wilson was a member. Other commitments came a bit later. I really love the fact that we have coffee fellowship on Sunday mornings, so I volunteered to serve on the Congregational Life Committee. The blessing of that was seeing the way our church shows up for each other. The first time I was in charge of a church potluck, I was nervous. I thought I needed to assign Sunday school classes to bring certain types of dishes, to really stay on top of things, and just make sure that everything that we would have enough food. But thankfully, the very first piece of advice I was given was to call Faye Wilson. And I did. And that kept me from completely messing things up. Faye said, just let the church know there's a potluck, and then don't worry about it, other than making sure you have enough space on the serving tables for everything. She was so right. It was abundant and beautiful. I love when we break bread together and the sounds of people talking and children laughing that fills the fellowship hall. It is an amazing thing. And I know Pastor Erica just talked about this, but I talk about it too, so I'm going to read my thing. But if y'all were here on Monday, you saw a glimpse of that wonderfulness. We had the Alabama Arise event sponsored by our Missions and Ministries Committee. The abundance that we shared together was special, as was the fact that they had also issued invitations to our friends who come to Common Table on Wednesday nights. It was a powerful evening of togetherness as we learned more about challenges surrounding food insecurity that people in our community face. Our next potluck, by the way, is next Sunday, and I hope you'll all come and bring something yummy. I've also started helping with Godly Play. In Godly Play, we work with 3 to 5-year-olds, and we tell stories of the people of God and ways God has shown up throughout human history. In Godly Play, we create sacred space by walking slowly and speaking softly and listening for what God has to say to us. We wonder about the stories we hear, asking which part was the most important to you, or where do we see ourselves in this story? And then the children do creative work in response to what they heard. I serve as a deacon, which gives me the chance to meet with members who aren't able to make it to church and check in on those who are sick or struggling with things going on in life. And I've joined the handbell choir. I'm trying to make sure I play the right note at the right time, and I mostly get there. None of the things I do would work if it were just me doing them. In getting ready for this morning, I looked up the etymology of the word commitment and all the different things it can mean. The prefix com relates to togetherness, just like in the word community. And the mit comes from the Latin mittere, to throw or to cast. And it's connected etymologically to the word mission. I love that the word commitment means working together towards our mission, because that is how I see Baptist Church of the Covenant. We are a participatory place. We love big. We show up for each other on the good days and the hard days. Wherever you are in life right now, whether you feel like you can plug in a lot or a little, know that you have a place here, and we care about and value you. And whenever you are ready to plug in somewhere, we will be here. Thank you.